And
hang on. I'm gonna do my thing. We're gonna go live on YouTube today.
Oh,
I figured this shit out. We're good.
My man. God damn it.
So you let me know when you're ready, and then I'll start. You guys just gotta wait for the intro video.
Who's running the show tonight?
I didn't write it, so whoever wrote it can.
You wrote it. You're good.
Okay. I just don't want to. I did it last year.
Dude, that's fine. I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, you suck at it, but it's fine.
That's fine. It's all the more reason to get practice. Practice.
I'm just
about practice.
I'm just jogging your chain.
That's fine. That's a nice hat there, Woodsy.
Ain't it though? Gotta represent. Where's the episode at? Oh, there it is. See it now.
Have you looked at it yet or no?
I said what?
Have you looked at it yet or no?
Nope, first time.
All right. We will get your raw takes. All right.
Well, give Woods look through it for 2 minutes.
Yeah. Good call.
Oh, I can do it. I'm good at working on the fly.
Halo Infinite, Xbox announcement window. What else do I have in there? 2 more things.
I like that you had a Greg in there.
Fortnite. I thought you would, yeah. Fortnite and Apple's War.
Right.
And
I like it. Let's go.
Control.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right. So, what were you saying about the intro thing?
I'll just say go. So I'm gonna turn on the stream. So someone hit record on Skype.
We're recording already.
Both of those things.
We're good.
All right.
Why don't you just give a thumbs up to the camera when we're good to start talking?
All right.
Yeah.
It's OBS.
Cheers.
There we go.
I'm going back to the motherland next week, CJ.
Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm going back in 4 weeks. For my brother's wedding.
Dude, it was good playing with him last night.
Yeah, man.
You should play with him more. He's good shit, man. I miss Slice.
All right, guys, let me. You guys gotta be quiet while it's doing this. I'm just gonna pick up your audio.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Give us a countdown.
I can't give you a countdown.
Okay.
So I'm just doing it right now.
All right, well, shut up.
Go.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, trophy hunters of all ages. This is the 5th episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast.
Yeah!
Very accurate. I'm your host tonight, CJ, a.k.a. the Solo Gamer, a.k.a. the Trophy Hunter. Tonight, I'm joined by the noob naked man himself, Big D, a.k.a. the Naked Gamer.
That's me.
Tonight, we're also joined by the hot taken, Twitter beef making, gamer extraordinaire, Woodsy, a.k.a. the Mav.
What is up, wonderful people out there? Beefcake! Beefcake!
As you can probably hear, the soundboard has made its triumphant return for the 2nd week in a row. Hope you all enjoy some South Park drops we'll have throughout the episode. We thank you, the fine listener, for turning in to the rarest gaming takes in the podcast sphere. As always, we bring you our own unique takes on all things video games, all while publishing our episodes edit-free. We'll be bringing you the podcast via all the listening staples. As we mentioned last week, we're on Apple, we're on Google, we're on Spotify, we're on Breaker, we're on Pocket Cast, we're on Radio Public, we're on Anchor. And thanks to the Naked Man himself, we are live on YouTube right now.
Fucking A. Probably looks like shit.
It looks like shit, but he figured out OBS, and we have some sweet drops in there at the start and the end. So Thanks, Steve, for figuring that out, man.
We'll see. Well, we'll look at it after tonight, and we'll make it better.
It may be the cut episode of the RawCutsGaming.
It's very uncut. It's like taking a look in Woods' pants.
Yep, that's good shit.
That is good shit. So this week we'll be getting to what we've been playing this week. The gaming news, including Halo being delayed. Xbox announced the November window. Fortnite carrying the G on the fight with Apple. And whether the next gen of upgrades should be free if you have the PS4 version, and our thoughts on that. In the trophy section, I'm going to give you my thoughts on some unattainable trophies. I know I kicked around the idea of doing Persona, but there's been some trophy beef out in these streets that I need to get off my chest. So I figure this week is the week to get it off.
Drama, girl. Drama.
There is some drama. Woodsy will be giving you a little bit of an update on his pile of shame and a little bit more. So, Big D, what you been playing, man?
Oh man, I've kind of shaken free of the single game, which has been nice. So I've kind of gone all the way around the horn, man. So the typical Rocket League, just in and out. But then we did get more Rocket Arena in. We've been dropping back into Modern Warfare. So did some multiplayer last night, some Warzone. Got absolutely butt fucked. So that was great. Overwatch, a couple rounds, and then really fun night the other night with Diablo 3 with Woods and Ryan. Shout out to Benjamin 420 on the PS4. Came in, was watching our Twitch stream. We'll have to hopefully circle back with him. He's our friend now, but figure out
He's
where
playing
he saw
Diablo
that
right now. Actually,
is he? No shit.
Yeah.
I was wondering if he saw the I'm live retweet I use. It didn't seem that he was there from the Raw Cut side. So
yeah, we'll have to figure that out.
We'll figure that out. But he was like level 1500, so he took our ass
Paragon
from level 15
yeah.
and got us all the way up to where'd we end? Wood 700, I want to say.
I started at level 19, regular level 19.
Yeah.
And I think by the time I ended, I was like level 650 Paragon. So, needless,
absolutely insane.
Would even know Paragon
I
was
had
a thing.
$30,000. I think I had like somewhere in the neighborhood of $30,000.
Yeah. I want to get into this. So, you said you had 30K to start the night. D, what did you have to start the night?
Oh, about same. 15,
30K.
20K.
So okay, yeah. so Woodsy, where did you end for your cash flow for the night?
I sent him $100 billion.
Well, actually,
and Ben sent me
$600 billion.
Yeah, Ben sent me, I want to say, $650 billion.
I got that Bezos money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got that Bezos.
Shout out to the homie Ben.
Like a whole setup, like the complete gear thing for the complete outfit.
Yeah, get into the weapons a little bit. So you had your little weapon that you were proud of doing damage with, and all of a sudden,
when I was my level 1920 guy, I had my weapon that was doing like 40 hit point or 40 whatever.
Somewhere in there.
And I got some weapon that does like, what is it? 270,000. Damn.
Yeah.
270,000.
Yeah, per hit. Yeah.
So shout out to homie Ben, man.
Yeah. So shout out to him. So, CJ, how about you?
So I have been. I mentioned last week I boot up Resident Evil 3. It did end up platinuming it. So platinum number 45. So that game was a lot of fun. It's kind of more of an action game than a horror game. They kind of got away from the horror games, in those remakes and whatnot. But man, let me tell you guys something. That boss fight. So to platinum the game, we'll get touch on a little bit of trophy time here. You have to S rank the game on Inferno, which is the highest difficulty. And we'll get into that later. Don't worry. But to S rank these Resident Evil games, it's not too bad. You have to beat it under a time limit. The time limit's pretty generous, and a certain number of saves. So it gives you 5 saves, which is very generous also. So to S rank this is not the big deal, the problem. And you can always load your saves if you're coming up on certain time limits and whatnot. But so anyway, I got to the boss fight, you know, in plenty of time. The boss fight, the last boss fight for that game is fucking ridiculous, man. Let me tell you, it's this big giant monster, as you might imagine, and he has this move where he just smashes down on you, and one shots you. So it's, you know, the same thing as a Dark Souls fight, except you don't have quite the mobility as you do in a Dark Souls game. And it's just I mean, I died to that thing a fucking million times. So I was pissed, man. And when I finally beat him, it gave me that rush of beating a Dark Souls boss. So man, I was pissed off at the high, and this is just on the highest difficulty. The lower difficulty, he swings slower, he does less damage. So man, finishing that off in Inferno Run was pretty. Yeah. I also booted up Resident Evil 7. So I promised you guys I'd be hopping on Resident Evil along with Woodsy. I'm not doing it in VR, and I don't know how you're doing it in VR, Woodsy, because
he owns the headset.
That's step one. But step two, man, that game is disgusting. There is like hillbillies and maggots and all sorts of just nasty bugs everywhere. It's just disgusting, and a bunch of jump scares. I'm not about that life, but I am invested now.
Oh, sorry, that was nice.
I have my Resident Evil heart on right now, so I'd like to see it through to the end. But man, I'm about a third of the way through that game. I probably won't be going for the platinum just because I have no desire to. And then the last couple of games we'll touch on here is I booted up Fall Guys. That's the free PS Plus game of the month. Highly recommend. If you haven't downloaded it, get it. It is a lot of fun. I played through a couple of rounds of that. You know, it's just fun. You just kind of putz around, and you know, you die right away, or you'll make it a round or two or whatever. But that game is a lot of fun. So that's a good PS Plus game.
Ryan had a good description of that. Like it's very Mario Party-esque. It's like the mini games. Yeah.
I heard someone describe it as Wipeout with penguin.
Right. Yep.
That's a good way too.
It's a lot of fun. I'd recommend it. It's free right now if you have PlayStation Plus. So hop on that while you still can. Get the rest of the month to do it here. And then I played Rocket League with you guys. We were on the stream last night.
Oh man!
We were on the stream, guys. Go on our stream, check it out. We owned it. CJ was scoring goals left and right.
We owned it, and like I was there, and you guys carried me forward. I blocked Woods out of actually doing normal things like defending and whatnot. But I did explode with you guys, and we did win 12-zip one game. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, so that was what I've been playing. Woodsy, what you been playing, man?
Well, speaking of that Rocket League game, I hope our many viewers and Twitter followers noticed the wonderful score. I stopped on my score. I refused to go past 699 points. I think we're at 10-0 at that junction. I hit 699. I'm like, well, I think I'm going to stay, and it did. I'm happy about that and keeping that one. But gosh, man, playing a lot of games again. So yeah, we're Fallout guys, amazingly fun. Rocket League, been playing some FIFA. Really just trying to get those card packs for my foot team. A lot of GT Sports still. I'm about midway through. I'm about 3/4 the way through the mission challenges now. And the first 5 stages are fairly easy, but now they're getting real challenging. Like once you start doing the endurance races, those are tough because you just can't fuck up really for a very long period of time.
What is an endurance race?
So, for example, for this one, it's on, I forget the name of the course exactly, but each lap takes approximately 2 minutes, some odd seconds. And it's a 30-lap endurance race. So it's fun because, it's Gran Turismo and you're racing, so you have to put in, the focus on making your turns and the track and all that other stuff and passing. But you have to do that for 30 minutes, and then simultaneously you actually have to do race management because it's a long enough race where tire wear becomes a thing and refueling becomes a thing. So you have to plan ahead throughout the course of the race to manage the race while you're driving the race. And it's a pretty stiff level of competition, and it's not a easy track. So you really, really kind of have to pay attention and focus for basically over an hour straight. It's kind of tough. It's kind of
An
tough.
hour, jeez.
I tried
Yeah,
to
dude,
do
I
this.
remember those endurance races and regular GT, like GT 3 or 4. And yeah, those shits take an hour.
Right, and I was on lap 10 today of 30 laps, and I was doing pretty well, but I fucked up in my pits as I guess I started the race with hard racing tires, went into the pits, and I accidentally selected X to replace my hard racing tires with a new set of soft racing tires, and you
Oops.
couldn't go back. And then I was just like, well, I'm fucked. I'm totally fucked. So at that point, I just quit because I created my whole race management plan out of going with those hards, given the lap I went in for my pit. So I was fucked. So I just quit right there, as there wasn't a point of continuing on. So I'll give it another go tomorrow. But what else have I been playing? Oh, did the Avengers beta?
Yeah, what are your thoughts on
some of
that?
it. Some of it. It's all right. It's all right. So I more or less just got past the intro scene, and I'm now like Eric Bana and some teenage girl who becomes like a superhero right in the opening scene of this game, or at least that's what I'm surmising from the opening scene. And I'm at that part, which is not that long into the demo, I guess. But I got to play. I mean, I've gotten to play as Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, the Hulk.
How does it feel to throw the hammer?
It's pretty cool. It's
like compared to
it
God
has
of War.
some God of War feels, but
Yeah.
it's I guess the one thing and who knows, I don't know. I didn't like look at like a full move chart or see if like I have no idea if like the move chart progresses, but basically each character had like 3 main moves of which various combinations of could do things, and then there was like every character also had like their ultimate. So I don't know. It's all right. I want to see where the reviews are with that game. I don't think the reviews will be bad because I honestly think it's a pretty good game in and of itself. The combat was pretty fun. Some of the characters kind of felt samey a little bit, but it's hard. I mean, it's like so many of those characters at the end of the day rely on fisticuffs and CQC combat and jiu-jitsu and yada yada yada. So there's going to be some repetitive punching and that sort of thing. But that was fun. And then, of course, there was Resident Evil 7, which started on this past Tuesday and will proceed again with this next Tuesday. Did that in VR. Made it to the big house, started walking around in there. Needless to say, as CJ was already saying, that game is kind of fucked up. And doing it in VR, there's a couple points where I was just like, "Oh my god!" Like really, I jumped out of my seat.
The jump scares, right?
Yeah, well, the one that really got me was when she showed up again in the hallway, and then had the screwdriver. That one really got me. Really good, and unfortunately for our viewers, because I'm just rocking my PlayStation 4 camera, because the VR headset requires the camera to track the VR headset for it to work properly. I wasn't able to record me and my reactions and my gameplay at the same time, so all you got to see was my gameplay. But trust me, I jumped like a little bitch a couple times.
So you're streaming that. Where can people find your stream at?
You can find me. Well, I believe that night I was actually streaming off of my private Twitch account, but all of my latest streams, you just search RawCutsGaming right on Twitch, and we are right there, baby. That's where we were streaming last night for some Gran Turismo, Rocket League,
Yeah.
and then we did Diablo from there earlier in the week. So hit us up, man. Hit us up. Join in. It was so great playing with Ben. Ben, our boy Ben, the other night. That was a whole slew of fun, and kudos to him again. Big shout out for doing the extreme Sherpa. So it was pretty
everyone.
dope. Yeah,
we killed no one.
When D and I jump in there next,
and it was actually.
I
hope you guys can go back on Twitch and watch that because it was highly entertaining. Because for Woods and I, and I'm assuming Ryan, we were leveling up so fast that it broke Diablo. Like, I couldn't. The maps weren't loading. Guys weren't loading. We had no idea what was going on. It would just say that we're done, and we were honestly leveling up 20, 30, 40 at a time, and then in Paragon it was getting to be close to 100 at a time. Like it was just nuts, absolutely nuts.
So you also played a little Modern Warfare. Shout out to my brother Alex.
Thank you.
Alex was watching this.
That was last night Twitch. Too. Yeah,
one of our prolific listeners. Yeah,
shout out to the homie Alex, and good luck on your wedding, buddy. Good luck on your wedding.
Yeah.
Remember, that shit's forever. Just
make a deal about blowjobs before you get
married. Ever.
Because Woods and I are in two different boats.
It's part of the pact, right? So, with that said, let's get into the news, guys. So, the big news of the week was Halo Infinite has been delayed, punted out of the window of November or December.
We'll get to that in a minute, but.
I can't wait to talk about this.
Coronavirus
to 2021. So let me set the table here, and I'll let you guys feast here. So,
all right.
Microsoft claims it's due to COVID and quote other factors. Right. This announcement came not too long after the announcement stream. There was quite a few solid, very strong opinions about that game. But so, guys. What are your thoughts on Halo being delayed, and what are the ramifications for this Xbox Series X? Woodsy, why don't you said you had some thoughts. Let's hear what you got to say, man.
I got some thoughts. So first off,
can I start out being
Skip I'm sorry. Yeah, Naked Gamer. Let's hear what you guys say, man.
Yeah. I absolutely agree. This is 100% due to COVID. This has absolutely nothing to do with anything else.
Right. And I would like to have my rebuttal now.
Wait. You guys, it's the easy button. Remember those commercials when they would slap hey, I need to
have a convenient PR marketing excuse. Bullshit. Bullshit. And it's not just Halo. It's not just Halo. They're not the first.
Everyone's using it right now.
Everybody's scapegoating COVID as an excuse for this bullshit. And that's exactly what it is bullshit. And what pisses me off about it more so than anything else. So I work in project management on software development. We've all been remote since COVID started. If anything, our efficiency and productivity has gone up in our company. We've been just fine. Our work in general is not so dissimilar from what they're doing. It's absolute rubbish that these companies are blaming COVID and getting away with it when it's mismanagement on the project side or and really it always comes down to poor project management, right? But it's absolute rubbish. And
there's zero argument there, man. Their budget for this thing was $500 million.
Yeah.
And they've had 4 years since they took and this is all they got. A new engine.
And I got no problem. Let me say off the bat, I have no problem with game delays. If you want to play a game, that's fine. Because at the end of the day, you're trying to make it better. Yeah. If you're trying to polish some graphics, polish some gameplay, get rid of those glitches, deal with those networking issues, make sure the day one patch isn't 80 trillion gigabytes, not have a No Man's Sky incident, so on and so forth. You say you're going to expand the development runway explicitly because we're not trying to overwork our fucking workers to death. That's the best case scenario, right? You're doing it so as not to deal with crunch. But be honest about this shit. Be honest about it. Fuck, there's too many people out there who think COVID isn't real and that too many things are being utilized as it is right now and scapegoating COVID, right? And that's exactly what these motherfuckers are doing. And so I got no problem that the game is being delayed, but just fucking own it. It looked like shit at the premiere.
It looked like a reskinned Halo 2.
It just, you know it's not ready. You knew then it wasn't ready. There's all sorts of stories out there about the mismanagement of the new engine that they built to build this fucking game, and how 343 hasn't been handling it well, and Microsoft uppers have not been happy with this, that, the other thing.
343 probably had, in the last 2 weeks,
right,
the number of seagulls that have come down from Microsoft, as we call them. A few guys aren't familiar. Yeah.
Why don't you give us that?
Yeah.
Quick.
So in the corporate world, high up executives that know nothing about anything you're working on, but get angry at some blowback or numbers or something, and then come in and shit all over everything, we call those seagulls. So I'm going to go out on a limb and assume at 343 in the last 2 weeks, the amount of seagulls from Microsoft have been astounding. That they've just been in there and shitting all over everything and asking where their $500 million is.
Well, to be fair, they have some reason to do so, because that game has been in development, at least 6 years.
And with the entire, I'm going to put it down right now, the entire intention when they started that fucking game was to have it ready for launch. I'm assuming that was in the initial project charter.
Yeah.
So this is going to be totally a launch game.
Guys, like, I'm all for game delays. A bad game, a game that launches bad is going to be stained forever, but a good game that gets delayed,
well, that's the quote, but it doesn't apply anymore.
Well, anyway. No, but I think to this game in particular and this launch particular, I think this is a big stain, because if it was Ghost of Tsushima being delayed or something else, Gears 6 being delayed, it's launched down the road, but this
at the back end of a console cycle,
or even like the front end of mid cycle or early cycle, it's not the big deal. But your tentpole thing that you want to say, hey, we're getting back in the race with PlayStation, we want to fight you guys, and we want to prove that we're the best system, Game Pass, this out of the other, and we're launching with our top biggest IP. And then to miss that window and say, okay, here's the Xbox Series X, and you can play Game Pass, and you can play Assassin's Creed Black Flag and stream that shit.
Right after they had the goodwill of being like from the general populace, of the gaming general populace, I should say, of everybody was like, oh, they're making their multiplayer free. That's pretty fucking dope. And then you go and shit on yourselves.
Yeah, I think that's a big, huge miss, and a
huge miss.
Step on Xbox's part. Oh man. Okay, so will 343 keep Craig in the game?
Dude, at this point,
it's such a meme.
I know. I hope that they do the smart thing, and they don't make him the main bad guy, but like he's in there somewhere at the quality that he was for the show. Easter
egg somewhere or something.
Yeah. And they keep him in there for that reason. Like he's just some like throwaway boss at some point in his, like he's the only part of the game that's shittily rendered.
Right. Maybe when this actually comes out, which will be fall of next year.
Yeah, I want to touch on that too.
It's not coming because it ain't coming out in first quarter.
That's a great point.
It'll be fall of next year.
If you notice, they said it's coming out in 2021. They didn't say spring. They didn't say winter or whatever. They just said 2021.
Yeah.
Which
should.
Which tells me that because Jason Schreier tweeted out that a delay never really alleviates crunch. It just extends it, for the most part. Sure. And they're not just polishing the game for another 3-4 months. They're
back at the drawing board now.
Yeah, and so they are doing the significant work that's happening, and that's, like you guys said, due to the poor reception at the Xbox Game Showcase. So this game, you're right, this game is going to be fall 2021, just like you said, was spot on, man. Because
maybe they'll have and like you were saying, maybe they'll have like a, rather than call it retro videos, they'll call it Xbox Showcase visuals that you'll be able to just downgrade after you beat the game on like the hard mode. Go through and see Polygon settings. Craig. fucking N64 Craig.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Jeez, this is just
brutal. So with all that said, Microsoft also came out and doubled down on releasing the Xbox in November. They initially said that no game would hold up the Xbox launch, not even Halo. Credit, I guess, somewhat credit to them. We'll get into that in a second, but they stuck to their word, which we'll figure out if that makes a smart sense or not. But so Xbox is releasing November. Everyone's kind of predicting what like that first or second week in November to be out for Black Friday sales and whatnot. So what do you guys think about Xbox Series X being released in November?
So to go along with your analogies you were just going with, if we get into a poker analogy, if you're at the final table and you're a short stack and you have a 2-7 and you're looking across from a giant person that's in the lead and he has a giant smile on his face and he tells you to go all in, sometimes you just got to fold. And this is where Microsoft is. Because we've hit on it before, they don't have much to launch with. So what's going to happen most likely is PlayStation is going to beat the living shit out of them for sales. And like we were just talking about before, where you don't pull out of that, once the narrative is that PS5 has outsold Xbox 10-1 over the holiday season, they're not going to pull out of that. They would be much better off saying, we're going to wait for all these IPs we got, and we're going to launch a big old bundle next Christmas because we're sorry. And then they put out that video from South Park. Woods pull up that clip. I'm sorry. And then you got the CEO from Xbox games, Microsoft games on the bearskin rug, naked, just going, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Hearing Greenberg out there saying, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So that's what I think they should push, man. At this point, why am I going to buy an Xbox?
Because Game Pass,
all the exclusives,
and this, that, the other, and it's like, well, what
all
are you
the
going to play?
exclusives are on PlayStation.
All the third parties are obviously on both. You know, it's super powerful, but okay, you know.
Well, and like Woods brought up, all this shit all remains to be seen. Because like Woods was digging into the tech stuff before, and Xbox may have more teraflops, but there was Woods. Do you remember specifically? There was some other piece. Was it cache that PS5 has way more of? There was some other piece where the flops might not matter.
It's transfer rate between the I/O input rate, input output rate for those.
So the extra flops may not give them better graphics. We don't even know that yet.
Exactly. Well, dude, I mean, oh god, graphics at some juncture are going to be splitting hair anyway. But because at the end of the day, everything, all the stuff that's developed, made exclusively for PlayStation is going to look great or whatever because of the hard drive. But all of the third-party games, it doesn't matter what they are, they're all going to be catering to whatever the lowest fucking common denominator is. So it's ultimately not going to matter that much. As it never
which is also going to be Xbox on, because every Xbox game is going to be playable on Xbox One X, which is technically the last generation of consoles right now. So
that's the thing that scares me the most. Like, is that fucking console that bitch is going to exist going to hold us all back?
It might, and they can say we have the most powerful console, but at the same time they can be holding everything back because PlayStation said no, you're going to play GTA 6 on only on PlayStation 5, and Xbox will say, hey, play it anywhere, right? But you can play on your Xbox Series X or Xbox One X, stupid naming conventions, but that's what's holding it back because all this power that's in the Series X is not able to be utilized because you have to be able to put it on your Xbox One X.
So to the main thing, they're releasing in November, kind of don't care. Right now, I don't care. I mean, Halo, I cared. I cared with Halo. Now,
I think Xbox fans wanted to win, right? This is their one top IP, and it's going to be punted now. So now the one reason to buy the Series X is gone.
Well, and here's the thing, and in a perfect world, production wouldn't have already started, and all the manufacturing processes been set up, and so on and so forth, and Microsoft would punt a year, and PlayStation would punt a year, and then, like we're yakking about the other night, all of a sudden, prices for per terabyte for these crazy solid state drives that they're putting in these consoles drop a little bit, and now you can get twice or three times the bang for the buck Processors would be a year better. RAM would be a year better. Video processors would be a year better. It's really too bad because even I'm excited for PlayStation, but the bottom line is too, we don't know dates for a lot of those games either. I mean, we know Miles Morales. Other than that, everything else cross-gen. We don't know. I mean, they showed GT7. We don't know when the fuck that's coming out.
We don't even know when are we getting a price, because I think
that's the other fucking thing. Nobody knows on either of these consoles.
Well, I think what's become clear in my mind, at least, is I think the one ace, I don't even know if you can call it an ace anymore, but the ace up Microsoft's sleeve is that they can afford to and have the ability to undercut PlayStation on price. That's the one thing that they can hold over PlayStation. So I think now, if any time, I think they're going to force PlayStation to announce their price first, so that Microsoft can come out and say, "Hey, we're $50 cheaper." And when you're talking about,
I don't know if that'll be the case, because there's been the reports coming out about Sony's set up manufacturing wise to create the supply to meet the demand, or so it seems.
Increased supply, production also.
Right. So, do they care if Microsoft tries to undercut them? Would they just say, "Fuck it, we're going to undercut you right back"?
No, I think
we've established PlayStation is going to have higher demand. All they have to do is meet all of that demand, which in the holiday season, console launches, supply is always less than demand. Always. Just fucking meet it. And then you can have the narrative about selling Xbox 10-1, 15-1, whatever the fuck it's going to be. And then
I just mean they're not going to recover from that.
Exactly.
Xbox won't come back.
Yeah, that's a narrative that is just fuck it. Screw your console, switch over to Games Pass Ultimate. That's it. That's your thing at that point, because their console basically.
And honestly, that might be their plan anyway. Because I mean, to be quite honest, like you actually hit on it. The hardware is all going commodity. None of this matters, and to have a piss match about it, and then lose $100 on every console, what the hell does that even matter? And I was throwing around ideas on how to overcome this with PC gear, with you, Woods, like just as a business idea. But that's ultimately where we're going. Is you'll have something like the Steam box, and then you'll have all these subscriptions to the games. And someday we'll get there. I don't know when, but that's the only way you get around input lag and some of these other shits. But that's how you do it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, man. I think, price point. You've heard that they're announcing it in August, but we're halfway through August right now, and I've heard nothing on the calendar yet about price. So they're getting pretty damn close to launch, if they're both going to be launching in November per se. So
at this point, it's just weird. It's like they don't know what to charge, and they're just waiting for the other person to go.
They are. They're playing a game of chicken. So
they're like, what's everyone going to think about $600? And are they going to freak out? And then we can come in and say, no, guys, it's $500.
$5.99.
Yeah, $5.45. Oh man.
All right. So speaking of price, Fortnite.
Yes,
coming out and fighting the fight that
it was worth it.
Fighting the fight we all need to be fought. So Fortnite recently came out and lowered their price of V-Bucks, but they lowered the price of V-Bucks only through their storefront.
The Epic Games Store. Yep.
Cut it 20% or whatever it was.
Yeah, whatever the fee was.
Epic Games Store. Yeah. So in doing so, they knew that they were going to be kicked off the Apple and Google platforms, which when putting this document together, they hadn't at that point. They were still online on both Apple and Google, but Apple and Google both took Fortnite off of their platforms. Fortnite proceeded to have a commercial readily available with attacking Apple's 1984 commercial, which is kind of a neat commercial if you guys want to look at it. But they were fully anticipating being taken down from both stores. Now, the difference between Apple and Android is that you can download Fortnite through other means on Android phones. You cannot through Apple due to Apple's App Store policies. But you can't.
Stupid shit.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. But so. But so now it's taken off the store on Apple. You cannot play it on. Well, you can technically still play on Apple if you had it downloaded, but once the next patch comes out, it'll be making it null and void. So, Fortnite versus Apple. That's the big topic of the week. What are you guys' thoughts on this and the fight that Fortnite's fighting, and can they get Apple to change their App Store policies? What do you think?
Well, it comes down to how much money Apple stands to lose by not having Fortnite on their platform. And who knows what those numbers are. So, I just don't know. I mean, the thing is, and why Epic can do this, is they only need Apple to exist as a like everybody who already has Fortnite, they have it, right? Even though the app's no longer in the App Store and they may not be able to receive game updates or whatever, and they'll have an old version of the game. I don't know how all that will work, but the in-game store is already set up by Epic as it is. So they're only losing money by not gaining new attrition on Apple devices right now. For those who know how to like sideload on Androids, which is pretty damn brain dead. So I don't think Apple's in a good position here, but it's Apple, so they have all the money in the world to force Epic to bend the knee. But we'll see. I'm hoping that it changes the game as far as because Apple, Google, all of these markets, they take a 30% cut of everything.
PlayStation, Xbox,
yep, 30% cut, which is it's too fucking much. It's too damn much.
Well, we went into the numbers last week on PlayStation. You're making $2 billion, and just off their DLC cuts.
Right.
So yeah, go
ahead. And that's not content that they created. Yeah. That's just by virtue that it's on their digital storefront.
Yep.
They're doing nothing for that. So in Epic on their storefront charges, it's substantially less. It's like 12%, right? Something a lot lower.
Right.
And everybody likes to talk about, the Apples versus the Epics versus the Microsofts versus the Amazon, so on and so forth. But that's all super wealthy corporate greed. I'm much more concerned about the little guy not having to cop 30% to fucking Apple or Google or whoever the fuck else.
Yeah, for some indie gamer.
For Epic, it doesn't matter. They're printing money either fucking way. It's just we're going to print a slightly bigger stack than.
Well, and to your point, once Epic's going to do whatever they want, but who's to say that if they wouldn't have these storefronts to go through as a pass-through, that they wouldn't have started charging the exact same fucking thing that they do now in Apple and Google and just keeping all that money for themselves. So I don't know. I always see.
I mean, Epic came out and they do have their own storefront that they use on the PC. The Epic Game Store, which everyone loves to hate on because it's not Steam. But they came out and they're doing the 12% cuts, and they're willing to push.
It's gained a lot of traction.
Yeah, and they're willing to push and fight the fight because Epic is the one who said, you know what, PlayStation, you don't want to do crossplay. Oh, we clicked the crossplay button, enable. Sorry, and they enabled it for a few days. And you know what? Look where we're at now. Now we got games that are kicking and dragging their feet, but going to crossplay. And now this is a fight that Epic's willing to fight, and I think they're willing to sling the mud because, like you guys mentioned, they have the money. They're backed by Tencent, higher up even, and they're just printing Fortnite money. So, I really think that they can gain traction versus Apple. And now we have all these kids out there across, the world who have their Apple phones. And once this, I don't think you mentioned touching this, but I don't know if you'll be able to play it once the new patch comes out. I guess we'll see. But
it's all these kids across the world is not a reality. It's like 80% of the cell phones in service today are Android based. So
Point.
iPhones are really like a first world thing, but China don't give a fuck. Guess who has all the money in the world to spend on Google version of Fortnite?
Yeah, this is really
India don't give a fuck.
This is really only a fight for Apple.
Yeah.
Because like I was going to bring that up too. So it's only 20% of people with a phone, number one. So Epic probably doesn't super care. And number two,
I thought Apple's share percentage was like 45%.
Maybe in the U.S., not world. Globally, it's much lower. Apple's always been a premium product. The rest of the world uses Android.
Yeah.
For so many reasons. But at the end of the day, like the total global market saturation of Apple is like.
In 2019, Android was 87%. So it was actually worse than what we said.
So
and shrinking.
It just doesn't matter. Like,
yeah. And like Wood said, you can sideload and bypass the Play Store. And for 13-year-old kids that have nothing to do and want to play Fortnite,
right?
Yeah, that's.
I think Epic can afford it, and because of that, I think
Epic can afford it.
Epic can afford it.
And Epic can wait it out and wait for people to get pissed off and complain to Apple enough. Or they'll just drop it from Apple. And again, I don't think Epic gives a shit. Because between PC, PS4, and Android and Xbox.
All right. Plus, they're making up 30% of what they were losing to Google by just not having it on Apple. So.
Yes. Epic
that
wins.
Probably is going to work out for them.
And they're probably pretty pissed off about it, too, that someone has the money to outlast them and to give them the finger.
Yep.
So then do you guys think that this will push Game Pass to be put on back onto the Apple? Then if Apple does bend the knee to Fortnite?
Maybe.
That's a good question. That is, yeah.
Here's the thing. Fortnite is a proven commodity.
Also true.
But if they change their App Store, I mean, the whole problem with whatever Game Pass is the App Store policy of not being able to vet every whatever.
Well,
yeah.
It was not Games Pass, but their
xCloud. So yeah, I mean, it's all tied together now anyway.
But like, I don't know. I don't know if that will change, at least right away.
I think if they change their policies, I think it at least opens a door for that to come through, because that was the biggest thing, and I guess
Apple's not going to be able to get away with that, and that's Epic's other argument, right? Is I think for somebody else, Apple finally cut a deal with somebody else, some other content producer or publishing house or whatever, that said they're only going to take 20%.
Really?
So they did that. Now Epic's like, go fuck yourselves. And this is I guess this is like the only time Apple's made this deal. So they shot themselves in the foot, because once you do that, and if they cave to Epic, it's just a slippery slope. There's nobody's gonna take. Nobody's gonna allow Apple to take a lesser percentage or a greater percentage than what everybody else is taking. It's just not going to happen.
I don't even think it's a percentage thing, because everyone, like you mentioned, everyone charges a percentage across the board. It's the App Store policies and not being able to allow that users to bypass, Apple's storefront or whatever. Because if it was the 30% mark, they'd be fighting harder against Google. They'd be fighting harder against PlayStation and Xbox.
Does Fortnite matter enough to change enough people to buy the new Android phone versus the new iPhone? How much does Fortnite matter?
No, I don't think so.
10 million.
Like you mentioned, they have options to play it on PlayStation or Xbox or PC. I don't think Fortnite matters enough to get someone to switch.
It's an interesting conversation with a lot of layers. At the end of the day, I don't think Apple's winning this one.
If this would have been a fight that was going on in 2018, you might have had a shot.
All right, back
when you had 80 million people playing.
Yeah, that's a good point too, because Fortnite is also, the numbers are kind of dwindling somewhat. Okay, well, I agree. I think I think it opens. I think if Apple does change their policy, it'll open the door to bring xCloud to iOS. But I guess time will tell. So, speaking of time telling, Remedy Games came out, I guess I should say 505 Games, the publisher, came out and said that the upgrade from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 for Control is available through the Ultimate Gold Edition, which comes with all the DLC bundled and everything, and also the new patch included. However, if you don't buy this new Ultimate Gold Edition that of Control, you will not be getting the free quote unquote free upgrade to the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, from one rainbow topic to the next, I see.
Yeah. So that and even if you bought the base game at full price at launch and you bought all the DLC and all the season passes, that still doesn't entitle you to the next
gen
PlayStation 5 upgrade. So Control is now the second game to come out. I know NBA 2K kind of did a similar thing where you have to buy the Kobe edition to get the free upgrade, which is their whatever $100 plus game. So what are you guys' thoughts about not giving these free upgrades and different game makers making their own choices? What do you think?
So it's one thing, when you have your free upgrade, that's great. Obviously that's the most consumer friendly option there is. Whatever, it's free. Just have the patch when it comes out. Or the new digital code. That's great. To pay an additional $10 if I already bought the PS4 version and I'm upgraded to the PS5 or from the X1 to the X1S, if I have to pay an additional $10 to $20, okay, it sucks, but at least that option is there. And I kind of agree that everybody wants this for free, but it doesn't not cost these developers money to do this. So I also feel like they could have an extra $10 and I'm not going to bitch that much. Especially if if I were to play The Last of Us 2 or Ghost of Tsushima now, knowing that come January of next year, if I want the upgrade one, I can pay $10. Fuck it, $10. Sure, have my money. But what Control is doing is, as you cited, you get the base game, you get all the DLC, you buy it all at full price. There's no $10 fucking upgrade there. You have to buy the complete edition or the ultimate edition, whatever the fuck they're branding it, of the game, which is going to be $40 or $50 to even get the upgrade. What the fuck?
Agreed. I've had enough of this confusing level scheme that all these companies have with the gold, ultimate, all this other bullshit. They should, and this is before I get off into big corporate world, because I'll go off in that fucking tangent too, because they're all like this. It's goddamn stupid, and the solution is simple. There should be a current gen version of the game that's gold and ultimate, and then there should be a PS5/Xbox X gold, ultimate, whatever. And like Wood said, the other one should just be 10 more bucks. And if you're playing it today and you're not buying the new console, I can play it on the old console and everything's fine. But I'm entitled to the PS5 shit. It's the reason everyone's mad.
For this year.
It shouldn't be only free.
Right.
Free is just the easy button because these guys can't figure out how to put out an easy to understand model. Make the model fucking easy. It shouldn't be hard.
Right.
What I still don't understand is when I'm playing Control, because I bought Control at a recent sale for $20 or something. It finally came to a point. But I heard the reason I've been holding off on buying it is I've heard that it really pushes the limits of PlayStation. I have a PlayStation 4. I have a base PlayStation 4, so I'm worried about my PlayStation just kicking off and exploding. And you're chugging, yeah. And I was hoping to play it on PlayStation 5, and it doesn't necessarily. I still don't understand what the PlayStation 5 version is versus the PlayStation 4, because all games are supposedly backwards compatible. So if I'm playing Control on my PlayStation 5, is it going to stunt the load times because we had that sweet SSD in there? Is it going to chug as much as it was because it's not the PlayStation 5 version. I mentioned before, I've sold the 1080 screen. I don't really care about the graphics and the textures and whatnot, but as long as the game loads and doesn't sound like my PlayStation's going to explode, I don't particularly care all that much if it's a PlayStation 5 version or the PlayStation 4 version. And kind of like Woodsy touched on, like it's going to be this year until this whole thing sorts itself out anyway, and PlayStation 4 stops putting out games.
But I just think that this is the least consumer friendly of all of this bullshit that has transpired with this cross-gen transition here. Because it's not like Madden, where Madden was originally like, well, if you buy the PS4 or buy the PS4 version, you can upgrade to the PS5 one for free up to December 31st of this year. I kind of sucked because there's that tight time window. But, you know, I don't know, man. It wasn't that bad. And then they said it's the full next year, which is even great. And then you got NBA 2K, who's just charging you more so you can get the next gen one. Okay, fine. But to say everything I bought previously is completely irrelevant, making me rebuy the base game, all the DLC content, and this upgrade package, whatever the fuck it ends up being, for a whole price, like $50, whatever the fuck, it's just ridiculous.
It is.
So people are going to end up spending
way too much on games that aren't worth it.
If you bought it right away, it was $60. I believe both DLC packs, it was another $30
or so, yeah.
So you got 90 plus another 50. So you get $140 on a single fucking game. That's what they're trying to milk people out of. If you want the total complete upgrade,
if you
package,
have to rebuy it,
it's just insane.
Well, it's like just hanging out on your couch playing games, and you can look over your shoulder and there's 3 dudes with their hands in your pants.
Your wallet. I'm here for the game thing. I'm here for the game.
Exactly. I know there are 3 dudes in my house looking for my wallet in my own pants.
What I find interesting, is today Amazon dropped the pre-orders for Far Cry 6. For Far Cry 6 on PlayStation 5, it clocks in at $59.99. Far Cry 6 on PlayStation 4 is $49.99. However, the PlayStation 4 version also comes out with the free PlayStation 5 upgrade. So pricing on games is thoroughly confusing, like we mentioned. I wish you would get this shit sorted out, say what backwards compatibility is, what are going to be the price of games, and let's get this rolling, because come November, I know all 3 of us are antsy to buy our PlayStation 5s. Let's figure out how much we're going to spend and what we're going to be spending it on.
That's right. And if you're out there, corporate America,
you guys can kiss my black ass.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Just kidding. If you want to sponsor us, I'd love you.
No, man, let's get the Trophy Hunter.
Okay, so Trophy Hunter. So this week I want to is come to my attention in playing Fallout, guys. We need to get to some stupid, unattainable trophies that ruin the fun for everyone, because this shit pisses me off. So where this all started was Fall Guys. I started playing Fall Guys. I was like, this is kind of fun. I wonder how hard this trophy is.
Fall Guys?
The developers put in a trophy called Infallible. Now, this trophy, you have to win 5 episodes in a row. Any one of us know? Have either of you guys won an episode yet?
Not even close.
Okay.
5 in a row, huh? Wow.
5 in a row. This has a 1.4% on PlayStation Network.
That's a lot higher than I would
profiles.
think.
It was actually harder than I thought, too, to be honest with you. Now, PSN profiles is everyone who hunts trophies. I think it's like a 0.1% on PSN, but that trophy can go fuck itself. 5 in a row is ridiculous.
There's too much reliance on other people and random shit.
Yep.
Very
exactly.
random.
That's what pisses me off. The next trophy I want to get into is a game called Skate XL. Now you may say, CG, why the hell are you talking about Skate XL? Because this trophy.
Tony Hawk's coming out, bro. Tony Hawk's coming out, bro.
This trophy is so obscene. It made me angry even to think about it. So there's a trophy called Around the World. You have to skate in game the equivalence of what it would be to travel around the entire world.
Oh my God.
2,000 miles, give or take.
It would clock in game of 2,700 hours of gameplay for you to get this trophy. Even if you were to say rubber band your controller, you're still clocking your PlayStation for that long just to obtain this trophy. 0 people have obtained it, so it's a 0% in PSN profiles. And the next highest trophy on Skate XL is 35%, which is fucking ridiculous.
That'd be, yeah. So if you did your rubber band thing, you would still be at, would that be 100?
Well,
Is that 100 days straight?
Yeah, it's 100. Yeah. So over 3 months. Yeah. A couple of ones I want to touch on here. Wolfenstein Shadow of the New Colossus has this trophy called Mein Leben. It's beat the game on the highest difficulty. On the highest difficulty, there's permadeath and no ability to save. Fuck that. It has a percentage of 0.81% on PSN profiles.
People have really done it.
They have. There's videos out there. There's lots of videos. There's the most videos I've ever seen on PSN profiles for one trophy. A couple of trophies I want to touch on here games I haven't played, but I know the homie Woodsy has. Gran
You can't
Turismo.
see him right now.
You can't.
Where'd
You
he
can
go?
watch his dog.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Gran
We're on
Turismo.
I got
we're
an
on
answer
YouTube. No one wants to look up your shorts and your tiny balls.
Yeah.
Well, hold, don't judge the people. D. First, okay. Well, number one, number two, just for reference, the circumference of the Earth is approximately 24,900 miles. So I rounded up to 25,000. So if you were to do the bullshit where you just were skating around 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year with your rubber bands around your joysticks, you would have to have your PlayStation on and running on that game for 1,441, or I'm sorry, 1,041 days and 18 hours.
Oh,
It's obscene.
was I off by a decimal point?
Yeah.
Was it 1,000 days?
Whatever it is, it's an obscene trophy.
It's insane.
2 more trophies, a couple more trophies I want to touch on is a game you're playing right now, Gran Turismo Sport. Now, Woodsy, I know you've been kind of at least showing somewhat interested in getting trophies. Now, to get the platinum in Gran Turismo Sport, you need to get a trophy called a record number of wins, which is matching Michael Schumacher's record of 91 F1 victories.
Race wins. I don't even think that's that bad because I thought about that and I wonder. I'm pretty sure I could just set up the races to be like 1-2 lap races.
How does it? So what is an F1 race? Like, what is that? Like one of the hard long races, or what is that?
I haven't done one yet, so I don't know. But I don't know if it's just the cars.
It's multiplayer, so you got to play against other players.
Oh,
so
well, then that's fucking impossible.
It has a 1.4% rarity on PSN profiles.
See, I feel like that. Because the trophy I just got, which is getting golds on all the training courses, that has a 0.01.
No, but you're talking about PlayStation. This is PSN profiles, which is like trophy hunters. So that's got to be that this trophy is rarer than that one, and based on like PSN profile rating.
I'll have to look into it more, but yeah, that would be damn near impossible. The other one I saw though that I even thought was more daunting was the other, I forget his name, but the record number of just races in F1, which was 340 something. I want to say, just an absurd amount.
That is an absurd amount.
Which, if I could just enter it and exit, and just like jerry rig the trophy, okay, sure, tedious, but I could do it, and I would do it. But
just sit through all those races.
If I have to do those races or complete all those races, nope, they ain't happening.
No thanks.
Yeah, that one has a 0.5 or 2.05 on PSN profile. So another insanely hard. So Ace Combat 7, another game that you thought when that came out, you said that game was going to be your first platinum. I was so excited for you.
Wanted it to be so badly.
Frequent Flyer, fly 76,500 kilometers in campaign mode. And Ace of Aces, which is a bone to pick with me also because you need to get an S rank difficulty on Ace or beat the game on each difficulty with S rank each mission. And
That's not even the hardest one. There's so one of the trophies is tied to a collection of achievements in the game, and you have to get 24 of 26 of those achievements. One of those achievements is getting S rank on the hardest difficulty in the game on all the missions.
Oh, so on top of that,
yes. And another one of those like in-game achievements that you have to get is completing the entire game on, I think, hard mode using only your guns, no missiles. Just the amount, the absurdity of that game.
The last one I want to touch on is a game that I have played, NBA 2K20, the most rare trophy, and that one's called Ultimate Collector, which wants you to reach GOAT level collector in my team, which you need to acquire 2,900 cards. Now, to obtain cards, you can get them for free with that little whatever account that I pimped last week. You can get packs by winning matches or playing matches or other ways, or by spending money. Now,
I'm assuming there's no dupes in that.
I'd assume so also. So this has a 0.52 on PSN profiles, which is a PSN. So to me, it's if you want to get the platinum, they want you to spend unlimited amounts of money buying packs of cards, which really pissed me off. It's not even like playing the game 100 some odd thousand days straight,
Ask yourself
flying
this:
forever.
how many total cards exist in that game?
Yeah, that's a good point too, man. So maybe dupes do count. I don't know, but to get 2,900 cards, which is 500 more than the previous year's 2K GOAT trophy, is just obscene. And they're forcing you to buy, packs of cards to.
I mean, there's only like 450 players in the league. So
well, then they have the historical ones, and then there's a level of them, but it's ridiculous, and it pisses me off that a trophy's tied behind collecting a number of cards. So so those are some trophies that piss me off. If you guys want to write in, if any trophies out there are listening that's something that we may have missed this week, please write and let me know.
Or one that pissed you off, just add to the discussion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do that. You hit
so
on
yell
the
at
two.
Woods. Yeah.
You just yell at me. I'm like the Christ. I will take on all of your burdens. Just pass on your burdens to me. I will carry them.
So what's that wraps up mine. You have any updates on your pile of shame this week at all? Or you mentioned kind of that you touched on your plans for when you'll be playing Resident Evil next. So
yeah.
Did you buy anything this week?
Successfully, no. Not yet, but I have items in my shopping cart.
What's in your cart?
Yeah,
what's in your cart?
Let's hear what's in your cart, man.
Yeah, live update on Woods' PlayStation card.
All right, here we go.
Get those sticks warmed up. I'm gonna watch you play them in like 5 minutes here.
It's loading. Oh my god, PlayStation Store always so quick. Here we go.
Hey, quick loads. That's weird.
Let's see. My time at Portilla, which I heard it was like kind of like PlayStation's version of Animal Crossing, or like a Steam game version of Animal Crossing. So that's in there. Oh, the Overwatch Digital Edition is in there. And then actually, I have a beef. About this last one. Super Hot Mind Control Delete is in there. Now,
he's sitting up for all
our
audio listeners.
Are you fucking listening to me, PlayStation? So I was told by the publishers of Super Hot and the developers of Super Hot that if I had purchased the original version of Super Hot or the VR version of Super Hot, and I happened to purchase both, that I would get Mind Control Delete as a free update.
I heard that as well. Is that not true?
They want $24.99 for it in my cart. I'm not fucking thrilled about this. You will be hearing from me. I tried getting a hold of those motherfuckers, their customer service lines. It's not possible. They have no phone line, and they have no actual chat support. So I might have to go on Twitter.
Fail.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Are you gonna buy it for $25? It's in the cart.
No, I should get it for free. I did all the other shit. I just got to give it for free. I did what I was supposed to do. I was a good, loyal consumer.
Insert the
PlayStation,
Isaiah Thomas.
just fuck it
I'd
up.
done what the requirements to be invited, but I was not.
They fuck it up, and I won't have it. I'm standing up for you, the humble consumer.
Yeah, that's your savior, guys. This guy in a V-cut T-shirt
And a Bucks hat.
And a Bucks hat.
and
Go
a Bucks.
Bucks at 6.
Take us home, Siege.
All right. So that concludes our 5th episode of the Raw Cuts Gaming Podcast. Thanks to you, our lovely listeners out there, for putting up with our bad dad jokes, our rare juicy takes, and all uncut things in the video game world. We hope you join us each and every week for more Raw Cuts. If you'd like to be a part of the conversation, or just how much you hate us, hate.
Hate.
You can reach out to us on our Twitter, RawCutsGaming, at RawCutsGaming. If you'd like to see the recording of our ugly mugs, and I think we have one watcher watching us on our live stream right now. Shout
That's
out
right.
Ryan.
Thanks, CJ's mom.
Well, two. We love Ryan.
Right.
He's
With
the
his
most
mom.
prolific listener. So you can reach us on our YouTube channel, Raw Cuts Gaming, or reach out to us on our email, rawcutsgaming@gmail.com. If for some reason, unknown reason, you want to send something to our folder besides spam. Key, if people want to get a hold of you directly, where can they find you?
On Twitter at the Naked Gamer 84. Or sorry, just Naked Gamer 84. And on the Twitches, I'm Noob with the zeros _ Naked Gamer.
And we're working on pimping on our Twitch channel some more. So check us out.
I've been going live a lot.
We love it. And Woodsy, where if people want to hear your hot takes, where's the best place to find you?
Oof,
Grinder.
basement when I've been drinking. No,
For it.
on Twitter, it's Woods _or Wads with a Z. There you are.
And if you want to find me, your resident trophy hunting horror, you can find me on Twitter at CJ Reindl. So, guys, we'll see you next week. Woodsy, play us a little soundboard to send us off.
Nice.
Peace.
All right, cut it.
Yeah. That was dope.